up, guys? I know you guys just saw me yesterday, but I'm back. You already know who I am, Da Vinci's, and I got my main man, Mike.
Show what your small business sells in 7 seconds.
Mike Woodland, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing great. And first of all, let me say thank you for having me on your show. But most importantly, I'm ready to get down to business.
Let's get down to business. I want to give the viewers just a quick snippet of how we met. We've met because you were looking for some models to work on your headshots. I had a contact from mine from Augusta when he did a story back when doing 10,000 headshots for his company for the people of COVID. They needed a headshot because they lost their jobs. He hit me up. I was like, I definitely need a new headshot because I got some hair. And we started talking, and here we are today.
Yeah, for me, it happened a little bit differently. So the same story is just on my version of what took place is my buddy who lives in Augusta named Sanjeev, who is out of CSRA Photography.
Yes, CSRA.
Yeah, in Augusta, Georgia. We do this little networking with photography, doing headshots and everything. And I went down there to Augusta and I hung out with him one day for like about 4 or 5 hours. And, just talking techniques and, how we can do stuff, work together and everything. And he brought a few people in, had fun doing it. So I was like, hey, next time you need to come to Columbia. So he came to Columbia and he was like, hey, try to get like 3 or 4 people. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to get 3 or 4 people. And I was like, man, you live in Augusta, you don't know nobody here, but okay, let's do it. I set up 5 people and none of my 5 people showed up. So it was all 3 of his people that showed up. So it was you.
Yeah.
And then it was 2 other females who I called my glam team. Right? Because their energy is so positive and they give me ideas and everything, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in this podcast. But my glam team is Megan and Melody.
That sucks that your people that you hit up didn't show up for you. Like, who doesn't want a free headshot?
Yeah, but you also got to look at it from this standpoint also. Everybody who knows me, they knew me from my prior job and firearms. But when you actually know me, like I'm a jokester. I like to crack jokes. I like to have fun, but I'm serious about firearms. But now if I come to you and say, hey, let me take your headshot and it's going to be professional, it's going to look good. That's looking at like Chris Rock. You don't look at him playing a serious role in a movie, even though he's probably capable of doing it.
He's done it several times.
He's done it, but it doesn't look right though.
Right. Yeah.
But it's along that standpoint when it comes to me, with people who already knew me from firearms moving to photography.
So you, no pun intended, you went from shooting to shoot. You went from shooting in the gun range to shooting into the field. Now, what got you into photography? Well, doing professional photography.
All right. So I'm gonna summarize the story. Okay. I'm a sponsored competition shooter, and one of the companies that sponsored me, they was doing coffee, and the owner hit me up and was like, hey, what's your favorite flavors? And I was just like, I said whatever. He's okay, you got something coming in the mail. It was a bag of coffee that showed up. And then he was like, yeah, do a review on that and just get back to me whenever. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went ahead and put together this review, sent it back to him, and they was like, man, we love it. We love it. Did like a little 30-second commercial spill for him also for it. Then he was like, hey, take some pictures and send me some pictures. And I was like, all right, cool. Now you got to remember, like I told you, I was already doing competition shooting. So along with me doing competition shooting, I would do product reviews for firearms related items. Not coffee, because I don't even drink coffee.
Right.
All right. So all the video equipment that I got, the cameras and all that, I've never taken a picture before. Only time I taken a picture was with my cell phone. So I'm taking pictures with this expensive camera that I got, and I was like, man, all these pictures look like crap. Pull out my cell phone, man, these pictures look like crap. So I went down the street to the college and found somebody who was doing photojournalism and was like, hey, can you help me out?
USC?
Yeah, USC.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So little guy, he was like, yeah, what you got? And I was like, I need you to take pictures of this coffee bag right here. Like that. He said, indoors or outdoors? I said, can we do both? Like he said, yeah. So we went ahead, put it on a bench or something. He took a few pictures, then we went inside and put it on a counter, took a few pictures. Then I gave him some money, came back, sent it off to the owner. Yeah, I love it. I was like, all right, cool. Turned around, went to Midlands Tech and was like, yo, I need to take a photography class. Took a photography class, and then of course, the instructor was like, hey, you just got to find out what you're passionate about when it comes to shooting. Because like some people like to shoot cars, buildings, flowers, food, whatever. For me, I've always enjoyed being around people. You know what I'm saying? So me taking a picture of somebody, just not like sitting at a coffee shop or whatever, I realized like, okay, if I can get your true expression out, that picture is going to say more than $1 million in my way of saying it.
Yeah.
So just turned around and I said, I want to focus on doing headshots because that's something that's going to carry a long way. You know what I'm saying? So you having this headshot is going to represent your brand, but if the picture is not captured in a certain demeanor, it can also ruin your brand also. So you got to know what you're doing also. So of course, I dove into it, which led me to having a contact with Sanjeev in Augusta and, bouncing ideas off of him and all the reading and all the trial and error with calling friends over. Hey, let me take a picture of you, XYZ. The rest is history.
Before I dive deeper into it, I want to know, like, how long ago was that? Like, when you realized, like, I need to go take a photography class?
Oh, man. Okay. So I did this product review on this coffee, JM Forest coffee. So if you're looking for this coffee, just look up jm4.com, and then they got coffee along with holsters and all that other stuff. So this was back in October, November timeframe.
So about a year ago, almost a year ago.
Not even a year ago. Yes. So, and I took the class in January, finished the class in March of this year.
Wow. Hey, more power to you, because I've seen the photos, because you took some headshots of me. I put them up immediately. They look great. I am going to show them later in the podcast. Correct. But I want to know, as you said you wanted to focus on headshots. Everybody, like you said, people want to shoot cars, people sitting on the benches or birds and whatnot. You chose headshots. Right. When you're going into looking for the best headshot, what are some of the techniques that you're looking for to make sure that essentially they're not ruining their brand or they're trying to get the job they're trying to get?
Well, first of all, it also depends on the job, right? But regardless of the job, the smile has to be genuine. And in order to catch it, I can't just sit there and like, okay, smile. Because anytime you say that to people, what's the first thing they do?
They force a smile.
They force it. But you can look at it and tell it's fake. You know what I'm saying? We all can look at a picture and say that. So, like I said, I'm a silly person. I like to have fun. I like to make people laugh because I like the positive energy around me. But once I can hone in and figure you out in conversation and everything, because I was cracking jokes at you also.
You sure was.
Like, what in the world? And then at the same time, click, 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 and I was getting.
I think that made it a little bit more easy, because everybody's like, I've taken professional headshots for the news, and it was just like, let me see that smile, and I'm like, and you look at my previous headshots, they look forced. Right. With yours, I look like I was laughing the whole time.
Oh yeah, man. I believe in cracking jokes. So like I said, if through conversation, I'm trying to pry into something, like I can look at, crack a joke on you, but not offend you also. Right? Because once I get you laughing, how much more relaxed you're going to be?
Very relaxed. I feel like I know you.
Yeah, exactly. So now, secret is, key point, in my younger years, that's how I used to meet people back in the day, like females. All right, start talking, and once I get you laughing, hey, conversation is much more easier and it's a lot more fun.
Right. So then you flash forward over there. You kind of built an indoor studio. Like, is that like you going from like being a competition sponsored shooter to now taking photography professional headshots? is that kind of like your niche now, the thing that makes you levitate? Because your studio looks almost professional, like really good with the lighting and the backdrops and the camera. Like it's not no. Hey, I just take photos. It's professional.
Right. Yeah. So one thing I've always learned, especially with my dad, growing up around my dad, whenever you do something, don't settle for just something. Because even like if I'm teaching someone about firearms, you can go into any firearm shop and see a gun for $150, right? But then you got another gun that's $600. Which one would you likely rather use to defend your life?
I want to say the more expensive one because correct me if I'm wrong. If I get the cheaper one, it may not work the way I want it to work.
Correct. Because they don't put the quality, the time, and all the efforts into making sure it is a lasting product. But look at this company, Smith & Wesson, who's been around for more than 400 years.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying like they got a product that is tried and tested over the course of time versus another company. I'm not going to say a name because I don't want to try to get sued.
Hey, I ain't trying to get you sued, brother. I'm just out here trying to make some content. Yeah. I'm trying to get more sponsors.
Yeah. So the same thing with photography is I'm the same way. Like the same thing my dad did when I was younger. Whenever he bought his tools or whatever, he always got reputable names and it was all damn near the best of everything. But I pretty much do the same thing with photography. So I get what I can get that at the same time that, hey, I can give this professional, service to people like you.
Well, I want to share my screen and I want to show some of your work.
Yes.
So we got this photo right here. And as I'm going through those photos, kind of like walk us through of like when you see your model, what's the first things that's going into your mind and is like, all right, this is what I need to do to make sure that they look the best version of themselves. So like you can stop me whenever. Or...
Yeah. So if you go back to the first one, the first one, that is my buddy's wife. So the gym that I go to and do jiu-jitsu, that's my buddy's wife, but she is one that she's already done like modeling work before. And I just hit her up and was like, hey, I want to practice, you're a beautiful woman, come help me out. So she was like, okay, cool, I'll bring some friends. So she brought some friends over. Her standing in front of the camera was so much more easier because she was like, okay, just tell me what you want to have happen. Because like how most people would be like, well, I don't like doing this, I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
She was I didn't have to really dive into her because I already knew her previously. So
what about this woman right here?
Okay, this woman right here, she used to work for BMW and wanted to get a headshot. And once again, easy person to talk to, but at the same time, I had to go through the techniques of showing her because she was almost resistance to what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Meaning how?
All right, so like I cracked a joke, she would laugh, but remember how I told you, okay, chin down, turn your head,
Yeah.
And she's doing what she thinks looks right. So of course I would take a picture of what she's doing, then I'll just show her on the computer and was like, hey, look, this is what you're doing. When I said this is what you did. And she was like, oh. And I was like, okay, I know it's blonde because you don't know what you look like when I'm looking at you. You know what I'm saying? So think about it from the standpoint of I'm 6'5". So of course, if I'm looking at you almost in a downward motion, you know what I'm saying? Like the way you're perceiving that is going to be totally different. But now I got the camera lower than you and I'm sitting there and I'm telling you what to do just so I can try to find that perfect shot for you. And then once I did that technique and now she started trusting me and then the rest of the session was even better.
I want to go. I'm going to skip me. I'm going to go back to me later.
All right.
I'm going to go to this guy right here. Okay. So tell me your technique of like how to get his shot. Cause this looks good. He looks like he's about to put this on IMDb.
Okay. So this guy, I forgot his name. My bad if he's watching this. But what I actually did was my buddy owns a barbershop here in Columbia. And I just asked him if I can come up to the barbershop and people get a haircut. I just give him a headshot. He was
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
okay, cool.
nice.
Yeah. So this was one of these guys. And we were just sitting there talking, and I was like, "Hey man, you want a headshot?" And he was like, "Yeah. Everybody can use a headshot because
Hell yeah.
he
Yeah.
owns some type of business. I can't remember his exact story." So went ahead, turned the lights on. He got up there, and it was like about 4 or 5 people behind us watching. And I'm just sitting there talking to him, and then he was like, "All right, cool," like that. And he didn't want to smile at first, and through the previous conversation that we had, then I just went ahead and started cracking jokes on him, and then once I got him to laughing, and then he was a little bit more relaxed, and then I just started snapping the pictures.
So I showed you 3 models, and you told me, you kind of walked me through the backstory how to get these shots.
Right.
But as you started this journey, and I know you're going to continue doing this journey and get better at it and work harder. What have you noticed any like differences, like for women or for races, that you may have to tweak some things differently?
Oh yes. Skin color is always going to be the issue when it comes to photography, because you got to remember, the lighter the skin, it's going to reflect. The darker the skin, it's going to absorb. So one is always going to be easier than the other. That's just skin color. Now let's talk about personalities.
Okay.
So, that is a different take right there. So you also got to remember, depending on the person's mood, is how you're going to absorb it and how you're going to give back to it. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole thing is, like I said, I like positive energy. So when you come in, I'm trying to liven you up, have you relax and everything. You might have had a bad day, wife or boss or whatever the case may be. Let me take your mind off of it for at least 30 minutes so I can get this one picture that might make you $1 million.
And then I never, I'm kind of going to use this tip for myself from asking you. I never really thought about the skin tone when filming the news. I was just always making sure that I was irising up, irising down. That's it. But when it came to like white folks and black folks, I never realized like lighting for like black people is different from lighting from white people. Cause and I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm not figure it out. Just make sure that it can look like what I just saw. Why is that so important?
Because the lighting is what's going to make the person look like a villain, or it's going to make them look welcoming. So, I mean, honestly, think about it. A lot of females, as soon as you say anything about a camera, they want to take on their makeup. You might want to tell them, hey, just put a light foundation on. Don't go overboard with it, because you can still clean it up in post, but it's going to be harder on you. But of course, the lighter the makeup, the easier it is, the light absorption and all that good stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, just think about it. Go now, watch. Every time you look at anybody on the news now, that's what you're gonna be looking for. Like, oh man, they got a light too close to them or too far away. So
now you got me thinking, because there was a lot of times when I was doing interviews and like, oh, let me do my hair, let me put my makeup real quick, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool, that's fine. You put it on, and now the thing is that I'm hitting on is like, if I'm doing an interview, like, I got to make sure the lights are on and stuff like that, because I don't want my person to look yellow, blue, or washed out. But now you got me thinking about makeup now.
Yeah, man, it's a lot to it. It's more to it than just getting in front of the camera and taking a picture, especially from the eyesight of me being the photographer. And you got to remember, I'm still new to it. So somebody who has like 20, 30 years experience, they probably can look at you and just be like, rattle it off. Hey, do this. Right. And like I said, my niche is going to be different from their niche, but at the same time, the result is, as long as you walk away happy, everybody is satisfied.
How's business been for you so far? And I know you're just like you said, you're just doing it for practice, but how's it been for you so far since you've been, behind the camera?
No, it's been good. You know me, I like to talk to people. Conversation is always good. And at the same time, when you actually give someone their photo, is, oh my goodness, I love these. I love these. One of my friends, she brought her daughter over to take a picture, and the mom had already explained to me, like, she got low confidence.
Is it this one right here?
No, I didn't put her picture up.
Oh, okay.
I didn't put her picture up. But that picture right there was taken. I did the same thing at the barbershop, but I did it at the gym.
Oh, okay.
So that was one of the little kids at the gym, and I was like, they kept coming over, and I was like, "Hey, you want a picture?" And just put them in the chair, took a picture of them. So, but the daughter of my friend, when she saw the picture, she started crying, of course, and everything. And then, you know how some people be like, "Oh my goodness, that's a beautiful picture." You know what I'm saying? So everybody's reaction is going to be different, especially like when you had a bad experience with a photographer beforehand. That's going to carry over to the next one. It's just like if you went to a restaurant and had a bad experience. Every restaurant you go to, that's how you're going to judge everything else after the fact.
So what do you want to do with it? Like, what's your goal that you want to do with professional headshots?
Right now, my goal is nothing more than to be the go-to person in Columbia and become the best headshot photographer in the city of Columbia, possibly South Carolina.
I think you can do that. Yeah. You have it easy. So your technique is easy because like for folks, some people have to like sit down, sit like this, turn their head to the side. Your technique is very easy. Just stand, chest out, head down. I didn't laugh at you.
Right. Well, you know, like I said, I'm the type of person also, like whenever I do something, I want it to be easy for you. You know what I'm saying? So the better the experience, even like if I teach someone how to do a firearm, I try to make it as easy as for you as possible. I don't believe in yelling at people. I don't believe in using big words to show you how smart I am, because if I can talk your language, and all I need is like the first 5 or 10 seconds of talking with you, and I can already relate to you. You know what I'm saying? That's just a skill I learned from being in the military. But once I can get to your level, everything else is easy after that.
Do you see yourself possibly doing weddings?
I would never do a wedding.
Why not? That's where the money's at.
No, I will pass up on that one. The whole thing being is when you do a wedding, the planning for that is 6 months out.
Yeah.
At least 6 months out. But at the same time, I don't think my demeanor and personality can deal with certain bridezillas out there.
Oh yeah. Hey. Yeah.
I'm that guy. You say something to me like, "Oh, hold on. We can either go in this back room and talk about this, or we can do it in front of everybody." I'm that guy.
I love confrontation, so I'm like, hey, look, I know this is your day. I don't want to ruin your day.
No, I will ruin it.
But I will ruin your day if you don't stop. I want to ask you, Essential. What's the reason of the name? What's the origin story behind Essential Headshots?
Okay, so obviously whenever you do something, you want to put a tag on it, you want to make a title for it and everything like that. And I came up with the catchphrase, hey, it's essential that you need the best representation of yourself. The first impression is always the best impression. So it's essential that you get that shot. So I didn't want it just to be something generic. So of course, I took all the vowels out. So when you look at, some people be like, ESNTL. No, it's essential. Just say essential. Like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But it was only like 3 people that was like, essential headshot. That's it. To understand the abbreviation of it. But how essential is your image for your brand? That's the question, like I would ask you. And then it will go over so many people's head. They just think about it like, man, this picture, this or another, but the title pretty much says it. I think it's essential that you need a headshot for your representation, for work, your brand, or Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you're using it for.
I really like the fact that you catered to what I wanted. Like, you were asking questions. It's like, where do you want to put this at? Where do you want to show it at? What do you want? What do you want people to perceive you to be? You threw me off. Out of all the headshots I've ever gotten, it's always just sit down, smile, turn your head. I was like, I want to be like, hi, welcome to the stream or something. Like, I didn't know. You threw me off.
Yeah. Well, you remember at one point when you had said like you do like the podcast and all this and that, and I was like, okay, are you going to use pictures for that? And you was like, yeah. And then you showed me what you had beforehand. So I was like, okay, that's too easy. And then in the middle of it, you remember what I said? Hey, put your hands like this, do that. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay. Then I gave you the idea, like, hey, this right here can be your thumbnails, and da-da-da. You're like, bet it's on. I like that. I like that.
And this is the photo that he's talking about, guys, right here. He's talking about that photo right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So the whole thing is it's not about, yeah, of course, if you just stand there looking at me, I could take a picture all day. But I need to know or I would like to know what you need that image for, because now it makes it so much easier for me to, okay, now I know you're working for a bank. Right? When you walk into a bank, how do most bankers look? They need to look welcoming. So let me try to get you in a position where you're relaxed. You don't know who I am. I don't know who you are, but let me relax you a bit so I can get that bank presentation in this photo. All right. For you, okay, this guy's a public figure. So let me get a couple pictures of how he can use this in different angles. So, hey, let me get you to think about something that upsets you. Right. And then as soon as you do that look on, bow. Okay, now let me get you to say something like, hey, this is it. Okay, bow, take the picture. You know what I'm saying?
Genius, man.
Yeah.
I look, I told you, because I think you said in 2 months you want to do something. It was like 2-3 months or something like that you wanted to do something. I can't remember what you said, but I was like, by that time I should be 20 pounds lighter.
Right.
So you need your boy, call me. I'm down. I'm down.
Hey, that's it right there. So it's nothing more than every now and then, like I said, depending on people, whatever they're doing, you know what I'm saying, and depending on their personality, I might say, hey man, do you mind coming back like in a couple weeks or whatever the case may be. Like yesterday, I took a picture of this guy who used to be homeless, and he wants to open up like a food service for homeless people. But then he had these other business ideas he wanted to dive into. But the picture he had didn't represent himself very professional because it was taken with a cell phone. And I just reached out to him and was like, hey man, hey, come in, let me take a picture of you just so you can represent when you talk to people and they look at your images. If it's professional, they'll take you a little bit more serious.
Well, the last thing that I do want to ask you is do you, for folks who want to, I'm going to just use the name, essentially step out of their comfort zone and take photos, become a photographer, what's some of the advice that you probably gotten for you to do it, for other folks to get in and do it as well? Maybe not do the same thing, but do something different.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it. You won't know until you fail, and then don't let the failure be a scaring point to push you away from it. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, I had hit up University of South Carolina, the medical school, School of Medicine, and asked them like, okay, I know the students need a headshot, and the guy told me, oh yeah, don't worry about that. That's already in their tuition. I left it alone. So Glam Team, Melody and Megan, two people on the website. Actually, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see the flyer that I have put up. Whereas I'm offering headshots to people that are at the University of South Carolina, attending the School of Medicine and the business. Right? And we put together a package. So because everybody who I spoke with, they said their headshots were like generic.
Yeah.
They didn't make it like personalized for that person. So like I said, Glam Team, Megan and Melody, they turned around, they gave me the idea, and they was like, yeah, this is what everybody wants. Right? Okay, cool. Let me put a flyer together. So went ahead, put a flyer together, and we was going back and forth on the flyer. They was giving their input. I'll throw their input in and everything like that. And now just sitting back and waiting.
How can we book you? If we need a headshot, how can we get you?
Yeah. First thing you can do is you can go to www.esntlheadshots.com or call 803-250-6837.
Sounds good. Is there anything else you want to add that I'm failing to ask you?
Yeah, just please head on over to Facebook and Instagram and look up ESNTL Headshots, the tag for both of them, and then you can see everything we're talking about. Check out the images, or just call and start a conversation. I don't mind talking to anybody.
Trust me, he does not mind.
Yeah,
I walked in his house and he was talking to me like I've been in his house 20 times.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna talk to you in front of that camera. No, I don't need no picture. Okay. 10 minutes later, yeah, go ahead and pose like this, do this.
I was like, and I'm not nervous to be in front of the camera. It was just like, I just felt different. It's like, this is a different experience for you. Like, I definitely know who I'm going for my next headshot.
Hey, that's it. Like I said, I appreciate that. And at the same time, bring 2 or 3 of your friends with you.
I got you. I don't even worry about that. I got you.